Jon, how much have you been looking forward to this day?
It's been a while. I think with the way everything ended, since that day, it obviously leaves a bitter taste in everybody's mouth, and I'm definitely motivated to get back and ready to go. It's been a long winter. I'm just excited to be here. Can't beat being here. It's an awesome place. They did a great job, and it's kind of a different feel right now just being down here.
Jon, how much did you think about what happened last September over the winter?
A lot. It's one of those things I don't think you'll ever really forget. In baseball, it seems like every year there's something you never see before, and that was one thing I've never really seen. And now that it's over and we're here and it's a new season, new start. I'm kind of glad a lot of these guys went through it. I'm glad I went through it. It's going to make us better. It's going to make us stronger. To where if we get in a situation like that where we're not playing good, we can reflect back on last year and September and realize, okay, we can get through this and we can, learn from it and play better.
Jon, obviously, over the last few days, you've seen you take more of a leadership kind of role. How much of that do you really want to do more of moving forward?
I want to try to. It's something that, I think kind of the guys in my age group have never really had to do. Because we've been around, guys like Wake and Tech and, had veteran guys that have been around a long time. And, we've just kind of sat back and let them do their thing and kind of follow them. So, I think it's time for us to, and me to step up and start to try to feel comfortable in that situation and try to just do the best I can in it. And hopefully just by me going out and pitching and doing the stuff I do in the weight room and in between starts, young kids can see that and say, all right, well, this is what I need to do.
Can you address the stories about what happened in the clubhouse last September?
Well, I think I did a pretty good job of covering that in November. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about it with. I think the biggest thing is myself, I'm ready to move on from it. I've learned from it. It's something that I'm not proud of. And, like I said, the biggest thing is, especially from last year's, you learn from your mistakes. And, I'm looking forward to starting new this year and trying to be that leader that, we were just talking about.
What specifically do you mean by learning from these mistakes? What is there that will be different?
Or just not doing it. Just being a better teammate, being on the bench. With that being said, the starting pitchers do have a lot of stuff to do during the game that we don't get to before the game because position players are the priority. And if we're not pitching, we let them go first, and we come in after the game starts and do some of our stuff that we need to do, whatever that is, as far as regen or getting with Mikey and doing some more arm stuff or some type of rehab or just maintenance. And so we're not going to be out there all 9 innings, but be out there more, supporting my teammates.
Jon, you said a minute ago that you thought that having gone through it can make you a better, stronger team. Why do you think that the team didn't have something to draw on like that in September while it was going on?
I don't think any of us have been through it. I think that's the biggest learning curve is going through situations. And when you go through it the first time, you're naive. We're all saying we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. I think kind of the mindset was, well, we're going to be in the playoffs, and we'll get there. And when we get there, everybody's going to come back and be healthy and ready to go. And we stunk. I stunk, and Tampa Bay was better. And that's just basically how it was. And now you put that in your filing bank, and just like your experiences in the World Series and the playoffs and pitching in tight games and the Yankee series all year. You file those into your memory bank, and when you get back in those situations, you draw from it and learn from it and know, okay, I've been in this situation before, we know how to handle it.
You talked about stepping up as a leader. What goes into stepping up as a leader?
I think just being a better teammate, better presence. A guy like Tech, if you ever really watch Tech, he doesn't say much. but just his presence is enough. You know, and I think going out here and you know, we've got a lot of young kids in camp, and you know, just showing them, hey, you know, the first bullpen means something. You know, the first sprints mean something. You know, the first ground ball you take in PFPs is important. You know, it sets the stones for the season. And you know, if you can, you know, and that was something I learned my first spring training. You know, being around Shill and Josh and those guys, Wake and Timlin, and you know, everything they did meant something. And I think that's important to try to instill in some of these young guys, is that, you know, day one means just as much as day 162.
Jon, you have been one of the better September pitchers in baseball throughout your career until the end of last year. When you look back at that, putting aside the clubhouse stuff, just how disappointed were you, and how much did it stick with you, your own performance down the stretch?
I mean, obviously it's disappointing. You know, I kind of like starting bad and finishing good. Need to go back to that formula. That seems to work better for me. But no, I mean, yeah, it's disappointing. You know, it's a crucial time of the year. I'm supposed to pitch good, and I didn't. And I don't know why. Physically, I was, you know, it was September. I was fine. You know, just trying to grind through it. But it's just one of those things. You know, I think it just wasn't in our cards to be good in September. And you know, it stinks. It's, like I said, it's disappointing. It's something that's usually, as soon as the season ends, I go home, I don't think about baseball. I'm done. I move on. I spend time with my family. We travel. We do sort of, you know, that sort of thing. But it seemed to kind of linger in my head. And you know, I think that helped motivate me to get into the gym a little bit earlier and you know, start getting the movement back for baseball. And you know, I think that kind of added a little bit of desire to this year, getting down here and getting ready.
Jon, you talked about your own leadership, but have you talked with Josh collectively about how we together can to lead the pitching staff a little bit better?
No, he knows. We know. I mean, you know, I can't speak for him completely, but I know that we don't need to sit down and, you know, have a heart-to-heart about anything. You know, I think that we both know that we need to do a better job and be on the field and be around these guys more. And like I said, instilling these young guys that, you know, we do work hard and we do take this very seriously and we care. And you know, I think that's the biggest thing, is that we do care and we want to win.
Jon, that's what fans want to hear. Just
what? Go say it again.
Do you get a sense that that's what fans want to hear coming to the spring training? I mean, you weren't around it. You guys were down. You know, you were home. And Josh was home, and Jon as well. But it seems to be where there was an anger after what happened. You get that?
There should be.
That sense?
Well, I mean, there should be. We didn't play very good. You know, and with all the other stuff added on top of that, it's obviously going to make it worse. And you know, I don't blame him for being mad. Like I said, we didn't play good. We stunk. I stunk. You know, I take complete responsibility for it. And you know, with that being said, though, I mean, like we all have learned from it. We've all moved on. I'm sure that's going to be a big theme in spring training for a lot of guys. Is that we're moving on. We're looking forward to 2012, and I think that desire to really compete and really win and show the fans that we do actually care. I think a lot of them think that we don't care and we're just a bunch of babies and, you know, whatever, but we do care. We want to win, and we want to bring, you know, getting back to the playoffs and hopefully win World Series back to this town again and show these fans that we are a good team.
Jon, you mentioned
What have you noticed is different?
Well, I mean, I think you can kind of tell. I mean, you got a lot of guys out here. You know, I mean, we're really not even supposed to be here today. It's report day. We're supposed to be in town and kind of hanging out. So, I mean, you got guys throwing bullpens. We got, you know, guys working hard. And guys have been doing that for the past, I think I've been down here for 2 weeks, and they've been doing that for the past 2 weeks. You know, it seems like we've been running a camp, you know, without supervision for the past 2 weeks. So, like I said, I think that's a big sign that people want to work and want to get better and show that we are a very good team.
Jon, in your early conversations with Bobby, what does he try to emphasize about himself and how he can be different?
Nothing. No, I mean, it really, in the off season, when I talked to Bobby, it was, hey, how you doing? How's the family? How's your off season going? Good. All right, nice talking to you. I mean, that was, yeah. I mean, he's not going to call me and talk about baseball. you know, when we get down here, I'm sure we're going to have some time to sit down and talk and go over some things. But, you know, the off season, you try not to really talk about it a whole lot.